Oh, fucking Jabus bananas. What's this? Mooney's got the motor oil. Yes, got the Valvoline container that is difficult to throw away. Not only because it's difficult, they makes it difficult for us to recycle things without discrimination of some or tricks of some kind. So instead, we thought, well, we'll just use it for a water bottle. We can put some soap in it and wash it out and use it for the water bottles. And so it's like we're just going to set this on top of Poop Church because Nancy, to make sure Nancy Mace eats out of there, since they say we're not allowed to use the toilet. Yeah, and be sure we're going to send them all to the Little Orphan Tranny secret club. Whatever they call that in A Christmas Story. Where Ralphie gets their decoder ring. Yeah, and the message that Nancy Mace, who's like a salt vampire from the episode of Star Trek, The Man Trap. That's not Nancy Bones. Is that Nancy, Doctor? Yeah, they're going to get a secret message, and it says, be sure to drink your Valvoline. Yeah, so we got to do a crummy commercial. We got to do a crummy commercial because, that's how everybody else gets their message out. Yeah, there's, everybody's so popular, with denying their abuse and rape. So we have to, do this to get the message out. So we make this water jug, you see? And it's totally cool because you can just turn it like this and then open that little cap there, and it'll drip waters. Yeah, you don't need the spigot on there. So Minnie takes it, and because a little notch in there, so when you turn it this way, when it's pointing down, it'll drip out of there. You see, this cuts a little notch in the cap, so it'll drip out of there when you turn a quarter, or yeah, the quarter turn. See, you just turns it a quarter turn, and then the water drips out of there. But we're doing this video now because we got the varmint up in here. Yeah, we don't know if it's a squirrel or some kind of desert rat. Some kind of, but they're eating. See, Minnie has baby plants here. Minnie has baby nut plants, and they eats the nuts. See the little plant there? They eats the nut off of the plant. See, they're eating it. They completely destroyed these. So Minnie set one out over here, and they did the same thing to that one. So we've got to we got to protect our nuts by putting them in these transparent housing that we're also not allowed to recycle. Yeah, they say they want to play games and ask for bucks, and they say you got to have bucks, or if you go to Oregon, Jabba the Hutt, there's a painted up vagina that works in a hut, and they like to say things like, "Is it recycling?" And then deny a speech, because what we really want to tell them is no, it's trash, but we just like to drive it fucking all the way across town to try to dispose of this stuff in the way that, so that it doesn't do any more harm to, this environment. You pull up there and you tell them, it's yeah, we just got some recycling, some Amazon boxes and some, different things, and they see the tag on Minnie's car, and also that we're a fucking, nigger, faggot, tranny, queer, And they say, well, we've had the first time you come through was okay. But we want you, they essentially communicate this way because they want us to keep moving on. Because they've had a chance to go to church and they've decided that they don't want any nigger, faggot, tranny queers around here. So Mooney goes to California and they've got a different scheme. They've got a waste authority, they say. They say they have authority. They call them waste authorities. Or recycling authorities, whatever. And they say, see, here's another one. Somebody's got one down in there. It's got this little tranny housing. It's got a little tranny house. It's got a tranny house. And they say, well, yes, we can recycle that battery that you're not supposed to throw in the garbage because it causes garbage truck fires. Yeah, it caused waste truck fires if you throw that battery in there. But it's because it's got electronics in it, it's going to cost you a few bucks. And Mooney's like, well, we don't have any bucks. We've got some dollars. We've got some treasury notes with the word dollar written on there. And we have a few silver pounds. We have a few silver pounds and some florins and sixpence and sixpence, none the richer. We've got some of those, but we don't have any bucks. So Minnie's trying to find ways to like reuse this stuff since we got nut-eating varmints. Yeah, they don't seem to realize Minnie's trying to help them. Yeah, there's like little nut eaters up in here, up in old Greg's Virginia. Call this Fielding's knoll. Because it's like a knoll, what they call a knoll, K-N-O-L-L. Yeah, and so we're trying to find ways to use the stuff. And Minnie's only trying to help these little nut eaters up in here. So they can have some foo-woo-woods. You know, when we're denied labor and housing and other opportunities. And then when we goes to their county welfare agency, they also discriminate and say, oh, you never... It's like, you're going to have to apply. You're going to have to apply. See, this is Mooney's bowl. Mooney made the bowl out of some porous rock. Dang it, and we made another one. But they say, oh, you missed your appointment, Tranny. You missed your appointment. You'll have to fill in this paper application again. Here, fill in this paper application. Look at this holding water, see? Mooney makes these bowls. And that way the birds and the little creatures will have some like drinking waters when the snow melts in the bowls. They'll have some waters, and they won't have to. They can poop out. They can eat more seeds over in here, and poop them out, and that way they'll have more time doing that. Yeah, they'll be doing more eating and dancing, eating poops. Mooney does a video about a little bird we see doing a dance where they dance and eating poop and dance and eating poops and fly away and poop seeds. And so Mooney figures that if they have water source closer, if they have waters closer to where they're dancing and eating and pooping, they won't have to fly all the way over there, way over there to the lake to get a drink, and then back over here to do some more dancing and eating and pooping. Yeah. So we're just trying to figure out ways to do all this stuff when these belief system humans say we're not allowed to be in their cities, their counties, their counties. Yeah. That is what we're trying to do. Yes, while at the same time Elmer Fudd comes up in here. Yeah, Mooney publishes a story to to her domain on WordPress. And then suddenly Elmer Fudd shows up to shoot off their guns that they say they're allowed to have. But we're not. Yet it comes up through this road here. This little road that comes up into Fielding's Knoll. Old Greg's vagina. You know, Mighty Boosh, old Greg. Yet he drives up in here. Into this knoll. This confined space. Because they know we're up in here. You know, they get on Facebook. And tell each other where a tranny is. They have tranny spotters. And so they comes up in here with their guns. And purposefully discharges them in close proximity to us, who they say are not allowed to have them, but they are. And this, when they have thousands, literally thousands and thousands of acres outside of this mangina, to do that. Yeah, so we know we're purposefully being targeted for this shit. And they say, prove it, tranny, prove it. And we're like, we don't have to prove shit. We don't have to prove anything. If you got a problem with us being in your country, then you should call it Nancy Mace, because they've opened the door for you. Yeah, they've opened up the door when they broadcast trans hate speech outside of their district. Yeah, you can totally get a hold of, contact Nancy Mace's office, and they'll probably tell you, oh, well, where do you live? They're like, no, you have to contact a representative in your district. And you tell them, no, we don't, because Nancy broadcasts hate speech outside of their district and violates their office, and why they are still in their office and haven't been removed from their office only further goes to prove how fucked up your cunt tree really is.